didn't like my hoodie, now that's a bully. They tryna take my lunch money. Only in your dreams, you ain't getting none from it.
And it's okay, stand out from the crowd, say it with me loud, no bullies allowed. And it's okay to stand out from the crowd, say it with me loud, no bullies allowed. You never know. And it's okay to stand out from the crowd, say it with me loud. Orange flags and body back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dallas Live, and I am your host, Dr. RC, and the number to call is 469-307-1642. You are listening to Tiffany H. And Tiffany, welcome back to our third segment. Already 40 minutes have passed by, within no time. Huh? That means we are having a good interview here. All right, Tiffany, tell me, you said that I should not be a bully bag. Please explain to our audience what's in your mind.
What do I mean by that? I mean that part of the bullying thing is how we react to bullying. Okay, we react in two ways, as adults or as children. We either react in anger, fear, frustration. Okay, or we crumple inwards and we do absolutely nothing. Okay, those are the two responses we normally have. Now, as adults, when we're encountering bullying for our own children, sometimes it's really hard because it's our child. Okay, we want to take that, role of the boxer in a boxing ring for them, and that's not a wrong response at all. And that's part of being a parent. But also, too, we don't want to show our children often and that negative emotions that lead you to an area where you now have become the person that is causing pain to a certain extent.
Hold on now. Let's go back and let's examine this. You said causing pain. So me actually doing what I am doing now, how is it causing pain?
Particular situation. I'm not talking about your particular situation.
Let's talk about my particular situation because this is a real life scenario here. No hypothesis. In my case, I wrote the letter, and and actually I asked my son, and I told the principal what my son told me. I told him, man, my son thinks these are two highly enthusiastic kids. Okay. Now naturally, my son is not going to cause controversy for himself. And that you know that the other girl that you bullied, to whom you gave the towel, she was petrified with fear, right? Now my son, I don't think is not in that bad situation because he went back to the principal next day because I told him that I wrote a letter to the principal, and he went back to the principal and introduced himself. So he had some degree of self-esteem right there. Coming back to what I did. Whatever my work, whatever I did so far, is this going to hurt anybody, or is it going to save those two kids? Because if they continue this, in my opinion, it will get worse for them. Correct?
Well, if you continue in a persistent manner, you will probably get something that you do need desperately for your son, which is some form of resolution. I guess what I'm saying with this is, though, about the not being a bully back is don't take it to an extreme. We use social media now
Yes.
so extensively as a form of bullying. We
Mm-hmm.
allow people to chime in that have no idea of the situation and all of the things that are happening.
That is correct.
And that's why we see so many of these children that are taking their lives as a result of being bullied, because it now doesn't just stay in the school. It goes home with them. It's on their phone. It's in their computers. You know, it's everywhere. It's extensive. And we don't want to go to the extent of airing something that would cause someone else significant pain and would cause others to chime in and bully in on that result. Does that make sense?
Oh yes. What you are saying is now that means at this stage of the game, the parents of those two kids have to, come into play, and they have to
Yes.
figure out what's going on. Now that I can see, I was told not to, and I'm not going to approach those parents because that's really not my job. That is the job of the principal and the school system, because the bullying is happening in their premise. It's not happening in my house. If it happens in my house, or it happens on the road where I have to take control of the situation, then I will deal with them. But it is happening specifically at the school, so the principal has to handle it.
Yes, and he does. He does. But you as a parent, though, and this is one thing I always try to tell my parents, is this. You are the parent of the child, okay? You have the ultimate control of what happens in your child's life.
Correct.
I can only be, as a teacher, I can only do certain things at a time. But if I'm told by a parent this is of extreme importance, like, for instance, I had a parent that came to me that says that we really need to resolve what's happening in this particular situation with these students with my child. And I said, let me see what I can do. I think I can get something worked together for y'all. And so that parent came to me in person, not, frustrated, but just wanting to end something. And we were able to come to terms with it. And I was able to ask my principal, can we bring in the other parents? And it was, yes, we will do that. We will ask them. We will do that. Now, that's my particular school. There's an ebb and flow to every school. But I think if you make this a priority, that you want to sit down and either just talk with the principal about how you're feeling, and maybe have those parents come in, say, I'd really like to talk. If there's nothing else to resolve, can we all just sit down together and talk about why are your children doing this, what have you? That may be able to be facilitated for you.
Well, you see, here is my situation on this. I feel that as a parent, they should have been, informed about this early on, and the best solution for now. Fortunately, what is happening now is they left my son alone, at least in the curbside. I don't know what's happening inside. So I asked every day when my son comes home, I ask him, hey, so did anybody bully you? Now he, defiantly says nobody bullied him. Now I don't see any problem there, and he's a happy-go-lucky kid. So I think everything is fine. But I'm wondering if there is another parent who is not as forceful or have other many different ways and many different tools in my disposal to handle a scenario like this. I wonder what will happen to those kids, and especially if the kids are, coming from a family which is somewhat dysfunctional, where the parents are not giving enough love and affection to their children. They themselves are abused. I can imagine what a tragedy that can result in.
Well, and that's part of the thing that I talk about with bullying is bullying has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with the person that you are. It has everything to do with what is going on in that person's heart. The person who is doing the bullying, okay? Where are they coming from? What type of home situation are they coming from? Were they beat up the night before? Were they molested the night before?
My goodness.
Have they never been told by a parent that they're loved, valued, and worth something?
Mm-hmm.
Have that absent in their life? And what I learned as a younger child from my parents was that I am bigger than the bully because I am loved, I have worth, I am valued, okay? Those are the things that make me bigger than that person. And it actually allowed me to look at that person in a different light. It allowed me to not respond with my base emotions of anger and fear and hate towards someone when somebody instigated something to me. It actually allowed me to see that they are in pain, that a lot of the time they're in such pain, and the only way they know how to act is the way they're acting. And yes, it's going to hurt me. They're like a vampire. They want to suck the lifeblood out of you. They want the power that's in you so they can feel powerful. That's what a bully does. And we have all been in that situation where we've been powerless and we wanted to regain that power.
Yes.
The thing we have to remember is it worth regaining the power to make someone else feel powerless? Or is it worth looking at that person and saying, I know where you're coming from, I don't know what happened with you, but I do not, and I will not allow you to talk to me in that way. But how can I help you? And I actually have used those words in my life. I have used those several times in my life. And actually, while I was a teacher, I used those words so many times during the day. I had students that would say things to me in a classroom that you would never have heard when I was younger or when you were younger. You would have never thought to say it to a teacher. And we cannot retaliate because we're, as teachers, are often seen as these people that are supposed to be just this teaching. You're supposed to be all-encompassing. And why can't you teach my child, and why my child's not doing these certain things, and, you know, my child's an angel or my child is this. When in reality, we are confronted daily as teachers with aspects of rudeness and disrespect and bullying, because that's what all bullying is.
Right.
I remember at one particular student who had just all day had been just throwing stuff out at me, and I said, I know where you are coming from. I know the family you come from, and you may be allowed to talk that way in your family. You may be talked that way, but you will not talk to me in that way. And how can I help you to not do that?
Right.
And I remember looking at me, and he cried. He started crying. And I remember at that point thinking again, thank God for my parents teaching me something in my life that could have an impact on a child that is hurting. And that is what a bully is. They're hurting.
Okay, so you are saying the bully is actually hurting. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Tiffany Haston, and she's talking about bullying, and we have very interesting conversation. We will continue this another quarter, another 15 minutes. We have to take a small break. Tiffany, stay on the line, and we will be right back. And in between, we will also play this music, Artists Against Bullying, True Colors. Here it comes.
You with the sad